With every update for a game, we see, of course, the changes and content additions that were meant to, but for keen-eyed data miners, we learn quite a bit more in relation to content that's still below the surface. With each progression of the game, files and assets will be tethered to newer builds showcasing progress in upcoming areas, not just the ones that are being released with that specific update. Today, we're going to be taking a look at what we learned about the future of Modern Warfare and Warzone in relation to the files that were accompanying the Season 6 update. As we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. What are you hoping to see throughout the season? For me personally, I would love to see another event of some kind, with this being the last season of mainline support for Modern Warfare. Yes, Warzone is going to be continuing on into Black Ops Cold War, but maybe that's when we see that slow burn and transition start into Cold War's Warzone, and that could maybe be something we explore, and I'd be all for it. As well, if you are new to the channel though, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, and of course Black Ops Cold War. We're on the road to 400,000 subscribers, so if you'd like to join the community, I'd love to have you. But let's talk about these leaks. Firstly, a huge credit to data miner BK Tour, and unfortunately, I can't put any images or anything on screen for you, just simply due to the fact that it is still intellectual property of Activision and Infinity Ward, but links will be down there in the description below where applicable, so check those out. One of the biggest ones that I think is one of the most confusing, but is in the game files, it seems like, is finally now the introduction of Soap. Soap has been a character that we have seen mentioned and referenced since launch day with Modern Warfare. Since that campaign finished, we saw Price talking to Laswell about his formation of Task Force 141 and how he wanted John Soap McTavish at his side. But if my memory serves me correctly, that was basically the extent of it. The extent of everything that we saw with Soap in the game, because he wasn't actually in the game files. He was just simply referenced by name and by asset, I guess, on the name tag on the folder given to Laswell. Now again, assuming that my recollection is correct here at this, everybody kept looking for the past 2 seasons to see Task Force 141 continue to build up. We of course saw that we had Price and Gaz, we had Ghost earlier on, but then we ended up getting Shadow Company, which was a kind of curveball, a cool one no less if you ask me, as a story nerd, and then this time around we ended up getting Farah and Nikolai. But people assumed that Soap would be coming to close out Modern Warfare and maybe round us into what would be a Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2, a sequel there to follow up. But that never happened until we got our first look at Soap within the game files, to which right now there is nothing that indicates he is anywhere maybe near close to being done, but there are now new files that are associated with Soap and the sound effects for a combat action reload. Now, the weird part is that these are brand new, but again, these are the only things found here. So unless we somehow miraculously end up getting Soap as a mid-season operator or something like that, right now it just seems like this appeared, but we don't have anywhere near that end date in sight. And also, being that we're so close to the launch in comparison to the rest of the year of Black Ops Cold War and tying the ribbon on what would be a main year of support for Modern Warfare, this is just so confusing to me. So maybe Soap is coming, maybe he's something that is dropped, again, maybe out of the blue within Season 6 Reloaded's update, or maybe it's something that he's added in a little later on after the launch of Black Ops Cold War, that sprinkled content that we see every so often after the next game ends up dropping for those that may still be on the last game. One thing that is equally interesting here to me and also presents a lot of confusion, but maybe ties in with this, is that apparently, again, according to BK Tour, there's an end of season cinematic. Normally we end up seeing this happen with, of course, our intro cinematic and the new season introductory movie, but we haven't had one on the end of a season yet. But details of this, if all things look to happen as said, is that this will be something that takes place in 2 different locations, in a missile silo and near the dam, but including Zakhaev, Captain Price, and some Russian soldiers, as well as the rest of the 141 crew. So maybe this finally sets up for that showdown that we've been chasing down Zakhaev, but now we finally see something come of it. And maybe that's where we start this transition into what is Black Ops Cold War. Maybe this end of season cinematic is maybe another real-time event here that happens with this towards the end of Season 6 and then near the launch of Black Ops Cold War. Incredibly interesting to think about to me and a lot of implications, but right now we just don't have enough information to really say that's what's going to happen. Before we continue, I want to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare, for helping to bring you this video. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions can come together to take the next step in their creative journey. Skillshare offers memberships with meaning, and there's so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives. Their Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth at whatever you're looking to learn. Their classes at an incredibly affordable rate of less than $10 per month are designed for real life and everything that comes with it. On Skillshare, you can learn and explore numerous topics of interest, from illustration, graphic design, photography, UI and UX design, creative writing, animation, fine art, music production, film and video, marketing. There is quite literally almost anything you could hope for. I'm a big fan of photography and would love to progress my skills in my craft, so I will most definitely be looking to use some of their courses available on offer. Whether you're a lifelong learner, beginner, pro, dabbler, or a master, Skillshare has something for you. Thanks to their hospitality today, and for a limited time only, the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description below will get a free trial of Skillshare's premium membership. Once again, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now, we opened the video with some bigger stuff that I think, honestly, I really want to learn more about as time progresses, but that's stuff that we'll see probably a little later on down the line. But also data mined was some stuff that was a little bit more on the horizon here, a little bit more immediate. The next few items in particular pertaining to Warzone. Again, BK Tour digging up some stuff in the game files, ended up digging up some game modes, including a phase 50 against 50 night mode, so 50v50 at night, a zombie upgrade game mode, a simple Warzone at night game mode, and then two variations of LTMs that we've already seen here. One looking to be a mini royale, but set at night, and then also a Juggernaut royale version set at night once again. So the at night version of Warzone does look to be coming here with this, and of course it was showcased within the actual trailer for season 6. So as for when it will come, that's just the next big question. We do know it's going to be coming, and it does look like we're also going to be getting some zombie stuff as well. Again, we kind of saw that teased a little bit, not only with the sort of Halloween vibe and October theme coming up here for Modern Warfare, but also immediately with the season 6 launch, we ended up getting the Undead Forces bundle in the shop, which included a bunch of items referencing Treyarch zombies and paying homage to that. Additionally, we saw some more progression and some more assets pointing towards Warzone private matches. Now, as exciting as that sounds to be able to maybe say on my end as a content creator, host private lobbies for people to jump in and maybe play with some subs in a literal just sub-only game, that's not something that we may need to flock to right now, because we've seen these assets kind of strung along for a couple of months now at this point. We've known this is on the horizon, but we just don't know as of when. And right now, it doesn't seem like this is the bombshell saying, hey, this is going to happen as of X date, but it is something that shows that it's still being worked on. If I were to guess, probably sometime shortly after the launch of Black Ops Cold War, getting Modern Warfare mainly out of the way here at this one, and then moving over to a new system in place, where Warzone continues on and offers a little bit more as opposed to just what we saw in the first year of support. One thing, though, that is really confusing in the sense of Warzone is that right now, data mined by the likes of Prototype Warehouse and the Glitcher 1705, we have what looks like images for Alcatraz in Warzone. And one, this is really interesting because obviously that is two entirely different systems here. The mechanics in Alcatraz were completely different than that of what we saw within Warzone and Verdansk, but it also, interestingly enough, is in a different art style and one that looks to be a Soviet version of Alcatraz. And that makes me all sorts of confused. Is this a recreation? Is this an alternate reality thing where the Soviets control Alcatraz and perhaps San Francisco that maybe plays into Cold War's storyline? Is this going to be playable even? It's just incredibly odd if you ask me. So that is something that popped up as a kind of wild card with the most recent data mined information, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes of that. Rounding out the other data mined content, here are some just smaller things that we can see. Up until the launch of Season 6, we actually didn't have any of the new season emblems available to see. Last season, with Season 5, was actually in the game files since launch of the game and even a little bit beforehand. So from firsthand experience, having those emblems 1 to 10 on my hard drive, I knew what was coming up until that point. Right now, that's not the case anymore, but the max season emblem and the rest of the season emblems were actually data mined as well. So we get a little glimpse of that, where it follows a gold and sort of turquoise color palette here with this, with the shield behind the cross and swords going through the crosses and the stars on that emblem. Admittedly, this one seems to be maybe a transition period, because because it does look like something a little bit more Soviet, a little bit more art related to a Treyarch title. So I'm interested to see what happens here with that. That may just be me reaching. We saw new shop items and tracer packs, data mined here with this, and tracer packs seem to be a little bit more common this year, given that we had a game dev reference more were coming pre-season 6, and by the fact that we even had a standard weapon in the AUG with the tracer pack blueprints in the battle pass. Nighttime is coming to Warzone, and we'll need a way to light up the night. The thing I want to close out, though, with this video isn't necessarily anything that was data mined, but something that was officially teased, rather, that being the AA-12. We talked about the fact that the butterfly knife is coming in season, but we don't know of the AA-12 despite it being there in the game files. Now, this was actually officially teased by one of the promotional images that Call of Duty sent out, so right now we know it's going to be coming, but it's just a matter of when. And I partially wonder if this is going to be a surprise update and surprise weapon that comes along with the Haunting event later on in the season, starting in the middle of October. We'll just have to wait and see, but it's definitely very interesting, and I'm really intrigued to see what happens with all of this. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. I would love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below of anything data mined. What do you guys like, maybe dislike, or what are you hoping to see? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts. But hopefully enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, and of course, Black Ops Cold War as we round into a busy couple of weeks here coming up. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.